Yeah.
Were there calls on Sunday? Do you
Come
think you
back.
can make it
You,
back?
you know, we've got, that's the great thing about, you know, having a lot of Colorado kids on your team. You know, those guys are here, and we'll continue to do that. That's part of the reason, you know, you recruit so hard in the state, and those guys, you know, can be here and then take some guys home for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
which, you know, those moms love that, and that's kind of a neat thing.
So did you call some?
They were going to be here anyway. Yeah.
But do you expect to have
We'll have.
65 or so?
Oh no, we'll have enough. You know, the exact numbers probably. I'm going to just shoot right now, thinking off the top of my head, probably about 72 guys, 3 guys probably here. Now some of those obviously are injured,
Right.
but
But that's 30 less than you had in fall camp,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and really 45 less than you've been practicing most of the fall with, correct?
it's absolutely right. Yeah.
Can you wait till later in the week to name whether it's Woke or Donnell?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it being senior day, I mean, you know, Chris, you know, I'm excited for him to have that opportunity, and you know, there'd be nothing more than he'd love to go out, you know, and play his best game in a trophy game, a rivalry game, you know, and on senior day, I think that's, you know, that's something that's pretty exciting.
Chris had a tough time at Utah State. How much of that was Chris and how much of it was that defense?
Well, I mean, I'm not
As far
gonna-
as finding, it didn't
Yeah.
look like there were.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there may be a cut or two that you know, you may have had, but, you know, that's going to happen every week for every running back. I mean, at the end of the day, they whooped us up front, and no bones about it, man. It was, like I said afterwards, you hate to ruin, or you hate to waste a defensive performance like that on the offensive side of the ball.
I mean, is there any concern that maybe he's gotten out of a rhythm that maybe?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I mean, he takes as many reps as he did as a starter in practice, and we do a bunch, as you know, good on good. You know, that's not an excuse.
I know their offenses are different, but how much can you learn from the mistakes you made against New Mexico to apply to Air Force? And then 2, how much can you build off what you did last week and take it into that
Right.
option attack?
You know, I think, you know, if we didn't learn a year ago when we played these guys, you know, what it takes, then something's wrong. And yet, you know, we obviously worked on it in spring ball. We worked on it in fall camp. We worked on it in the bye week. Now we get to see where the carryover or you know, memory part of that, and then guys, it's a nightmare. I'm just going to tell you. I mean, I mean, well, I don't know what else to say. I wake up miserable because I'd never been through a performance that was so lackluster and so unemotional, and I hate to live in the past. As you know, I don't do that, but this is one that hurt as a coach just because of how the guys played. Now, whether we win the game or not, I mean, that's going to happen on Saturday one way or the other. It's how we play the game is what.
Well, that's what I'm kind of curious. Obviously, it was the effort that you were upset with against Air Force. You weren't upset so much with effort, but how they read assignments against New Mexico. So if you can play the effort you played against Utah State,
Yeah,
can you take the mistakes that you learned against New Mexico and apply those?
I
fix
think
those
so.
things?
You know, I think we can, and there again, it you know, it goes back to want, goes back to being accountable to do your job, and then within that, then you're accountable to the other people on your team, and you know, the fury at which you play, you know, both sides of the ball, is something that we've got to make sure happens. And, you know, guys, for these seniors, I look at, they should be very proud of themselves. And what I mean by that, they were here when things were, however you want to put it. Okay, now they might have been part of the problem, okay, and didn't realize it. And I think that these guys that are here right now, that have been in the program, have overcome, saw within themselves what they could do to fix it. And I think for each one of them to really reflect on the change and the fact they're here playing for this trophy, the chance to snap a 7-game losing streak to a rival. There's a lot of things that they can be excited about from a personal standpoint.
Throw in the fact that you have a chance to get to a bowl game with a win. Is want to the least of your concerns with this team this week?
You know, it is, except if that's the sole reason.
No, there's a lot.
You know, but I mean, if that's the sole motivation, I'm not doing my job. You know, and yet at the same time, you can't go in like, you know, if we don't, you know what I mean, my life's ruined. You know, that's not it. I mean, let's set what may happen if we take care of business. Don't let that be in the background. Let's go play for each other. Let's go play for this trophy. Let's go play to change something that hasn't happened in 7, 8 years, whatever it's been, right? And I mean just dominance when you look at it. And then, you know, we'll find out on Saturday about 4 o'clock or whatever what the results are, and then we'll move from there.
Should, with all the different things, there's a lot of motivation. Should that help avoid the lackluster effort you saw last year?
You know, I don't. You know,
Should it take care of itself almost, just given
to me it should.
what's at stake for these guys?
I mean, obviously, guys, to me it should. And the fear of the unknown with these guys has been a kind of a common theme, you know, throughout the year because, you know, how do you, it's November whatever, or whatever the date of the game is, 30th? Right? Well, normally they're trying to figure out, you know, when they take their last final so they go home for Christmas. And in some cases, before I got here, never took a final. Okay? I don't know what was going on. All right? That is beyond me. Okay? But, you know, maybe now they're going, wait, where kind of normally, this is just part of the, should be expected, okay? You play your last game, you get yourself healthy, you prepare for bowl week, you use it as some spring ball, you know, some young guys getting ready. You enjoy the fruits of a bowl game. Then you go home for break and come back, get ready for RAMU.
We talked about your running back situation, but at linebacker, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nuvali back last week.
That's what's really good. You
And
think
then
about
Steve-O?
Steve-O's got to figure in big. Obviously, Nuvali on the inside. Nolan Peralta, you know, more reps. You know what I'm getting at there. When you look at breaking down some of that part of it. And, you know, it puts that much more pressure on our D-line and guys, Shaq Barrett.
What, Deontay, is he back?
Deontay Clyburn, obviously,
Is he a guy that
he's
can
the
fill in
same
some of that
same
inside
deal.
role too?
Inside role between him and Nolan and Nuvali, you know, giving Max a blow when you have to. But with those guys on the inside, I think you mentioned it, Steve-O's going to be a big week for him, and he's been playing a lot.
Who else besides him is on the outside? If
Um,
Ray can't go?
You know, really, those are the guys
He
that,
seems like the only
you
other
know,
guy that's
well,
really got a
Daniel
lot of reps.
Wosu
Okay, Wosu.
plays a lot.
That's right.
You know, so he just ups his count, right? And then obviously, like I said, Shaq Barrett has got to, you know, do some double duty.
And do you really have anybody that fills in for Kwolek if he's out?
Well, Martavius Foster, who played last game,
Right.
you know, obviously he'll get more snaps there. Ellie Edwards is going to have to take more because they were kind of splitting, right? So there's going to be just more on some guys' plates, which, the constant, way that these guys come at you, you like to have that. But guys, don't get me wrong, we're still a heck of a lot better off from a depth standpoint than we were a year ago playing these guys up front.
Curiosity, you're the only team in the Mountain West that added that 13th game because you went to Hawaii. The game you added was Alabama. Had you not added that game, you guys would have been bowl eligible as of last week. Do you feel like you got enough benefits out of that game moving forward and things like that? I mean, because we could be sitting, you could already be bowl eligible now. You still need this win because you added that 13th game.
That's, I hate to say this, but I haven't really thought of that.
Okay.
So shoot me. But at the same time, I don't look at it that way. It doesn't matter. I mean, the number to me is irrelevant if you take care of what you should do every week, okay? And say we're going to, we should already be there,
Okay.
all right? We aren't. So what are we going to do about it? You know what I'm getting at? And whether the number's 7, 8, 9, 10, that's just what you have to do.
Yeah.
And, we knew we were going to play Alabama, going into the season. So I think the number is just, that's what they set. And yet I understand where you're coming from, but there was a lot of value playing that game.
That's what I was going to ask. So
Yeah.
when you look back just at the game, what you got from it, seemed like your team in the loss, they took a leap in confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And that alone, whether bowl eligible or not, did your program not gain from that game that experience of playing the number one team in the nation, how they can handle that on the road?
Right.
Did you not garner a lot that this program as a whole will build off and move forward?
I really believe so. And yet you're not going to see, I'm not sure you can put a tangible feel on it.
Right.
Yet I think we will see the results of playing that game and playing them again, in a couple of years, whenever that comes up. The help in recruiting, there's a lot of things that pay forward from that game.
Oh, just from, obviously, you talked about all the other things, the rivalry and the whole bit, but just how valuable, from your standpoint, what you want to do and are doing with this program, would a bowl game be?
Well, I think
Besides the extra practices, I know there's a lot of things like that, but just from a perception standpoint, it's huge.
No, there's no doubt. And yet, I know how far we've come, and I know where we're at, and I know where we're headed. If it happens, it's a bonus. I think it really helps you nationally. And you know what? It's great for the kids. I think that the bowl experience itself is something that there's no one on our team that even knows what that is. There's another part of the unknown, right? And so really for me, it has to do more with them experiencing it, and then obviously the national hit that you get for being part of the bowl season.
You talk a lot about changing the perception that people have of Colorado State.
That's right.
This could go a long ways toward that.
You hit it on the head. Yep.
Bring up a bad subject for you. Air Force's offense, they're down to their third quarterback.
So am I starting to sweat again?
Yeah. Lacoste is running really well for him as of late. What do you see in this
Do you have
version
some
of
medicine
offense?
back there? Can we talk? Can we get the trainer involved, please? God,
Sorry,
miserable.
We
No,
have to ask him.
no, I hear you. When I look at kind of what they do, and the way they have answers, and what I mean by that, look at their production in the third quarter. From their halftime adjustments, they know that thing inside and out to the point, this is what we're getting, let's go to this. And look at what has happened for them at that point. And I think that that's a credit to the system and really knowing the in and outs. They give you just, look, guys, it's something that you don't see every day. So, you know, defending a double team on the zone, pretty much everybody in the country does that, right? So you're doing that. This gives you that unique sense of the down blocks and the angles and the scramble blocks and the, you know, the way they block downfield at the, you know, with their arc blocks and how they apply their number scheme. And then having to defend a 12th man, meaning a quarterback that's part of the run part of it.
Lacoste, what does he bring? I mean, he's the guy that was playing defense for him last year and returned an interception 47 yards against you guys.
Gosh, I tell you what, and I'm trying to be thankful for this week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. You know, yeah. You
What
know,
does he bring to that
here's
offense,
what
though? 'Cause
he.
he's really kind of emerged as a.
Here's what I think the guy brings: energy, toughness, will to win, never say die. You know, all of those things, and a tough guy. You know, from a tackle standpoint, you know, just the way it is. You know, I think the running back number 40 from San Jose, was it number 40?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really tackle that guy. You know what I'm getting at? So if you think comparisons, probably, and that just came to mind, but that makes a lot of sense.
Who plays scout team QB for you this week? A lot of times for Air Force and
yeah.
option teams, people have used running backs, receivers.
You know, we've used Robert Ruiz, who does a great job with it for us. And guys, the way we practice this week, we do a lot, 2s against 1s, 1s against 2s from a schematic standpoint. So C.J. Leonard has handled that kind of stuff really good, so he'll get a lot of those reps as well.
I mean, are you going to be running against a lot of option though?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause you've got to practice that, obviously.
A lot of it. You know, I'm probably not going to have Garrett do it much.
No?
We tried that last year, and he blew his shoulder.
Jim, you can only speak for 1 year playing them, but you looked at tape, I'm sure, of
Yeah.
previous years. What's been the problem? Is it like the Colorado State against Air Force? Is it athleticism? Is it lack of depth? Is it not just
You know,
because it's so new?
here, you know what I struggle with? And I watched the previous year and then obviously last year, just when you go into it, you know. Flathead guys turn it down, man. I don't get it. And just be honest, I mean, they turned it down. And I think they play with a bigger chip on their shoulder than maybe we played with. And that's irritating to me. And that probably is what creates the nightmares.
Is that maybe what happens if you overemphasize how different they are, how unique they are, that guys can shut down?
Yeah, they
Maybe
go into
that's what-
freeze. They go into like
they're gonna
performance
block you,
freeze.
They're going to do this, they're going to do that. You don't see it. We change
Yeah.
it. You know, the previous staff ran an entirely different defense against Air Force than they did against anybody else.
Yeah, I can't speak for that. I just know how disappointed, you know, I was based on effort, energy, attack, trigger, you name the term, that basically means want.
What are the things as a coaching staff you guys can do to change that this week?
Well, I mean, I think
Besides reminding them of it.
we've answered it, you know, and we'll find out Saturday. I don't know. I don't know the magic potion. I know we've answered the hows. I know our guys are not as worried about themselves as maybe they had been in the past, and more team-oriented, you know? You hope some of that is part of the formula. And look, they're going to make plays. I mean, it's the nature of the offense. It's, are you willing to just allow it to happen over and over and over? We'll find out.
You had won, the team had won 4 of its last 5 before Saturday. Can you lose momentum in one game? I mean, you guys were doing really well.
Yeah, we were
And
doing.
that includes a good second half against Boise.
Yeah, we were doing well. You know, lose momentum. I think, you know, I'm going to go back. The unknown for some of these guys. They're in uncharted territory. So, you know, I can only imagine what, you know, Columbus thought. Well, you know what? I really want to go over there, you know, when I don't know what it is. Look at those people there. You know, they're Indians or whatever, right? I mean, is this, well, yeah, you should want to. We're in uncharted waters. Let's go, let's go forward and see what the heck, let's leave it all there and see what happens.
Air Force's defense is, they've been hit early and often in a lot of their games. What do you see in the way that they're playing? And because of that, like you said, their halftime adjustments, is that something you need to try and jump out in front like you did the New Mexico game, keep them playing from behind?
Guys, I really believe that I'm going to go back again and say our best defense is going to have to be what we do field position-wise, okay? We can't give them short fields. We've got to make them earn long field. And with that comes the ability of your offense to get first downs and flip the side of the field. Because when they get short field, they're automatic offensively. So huge challenge for our defense, or our defense obviously, but really I think the sombrero is more so on our offense than it is even our defense. Because if you look at last year's game, we didn't. Do I got to look at it again?
No, you don't have to.
Thank you.
You talk a lot about your team learning from past mistakes, from them learning from each game as opportunities to have you seen that more as the seasons progress, them wanting to learn rather than hanging their head?
Yeah, I think, you know, the idea of going through life and learning from whatever experience that you encountered and what you learned from that is really parallels what we try to do with our football program. So some guys it takes longer. Some guys will touch the stove many times over before they figure out it's hot, right? And I like this team. I like our guys. I think they've come a long ways. And this is just part of building for the future. And in this case, the future is now. Thanks.
Considering everything that you have going on, senior class, wanting to get to a bowl game, haven't beaten them in 7 years, is that the last thing you're worried about, is what kind of effort this team will put forth on the field Saturday?
Oh, exactly. I mean, we know it's last game for the seniors, and we got to have this win for the bowl game. So, I mean, we're going to come no quit attitude. I mean, it's a big game for us, you know, even since we haven't won the Ram Falcon Trophy in 7-8 years, and you know, and just how the senior class and everyone has worked, you know, in the off season. I mean, we've all worked so hard, and it'd just be so rewarding, you know, to get this win and go to a bowl game.
How disappointing would it be to not get the win, given all you guys have done?
I mean, it'd be very disappointing because, I mean, just all the work that goes into this. I mean, it's so much work, and not having that, getting rewarded from it for going to a bowl game and finally getting that Ram Falcon Trophy. So, I mean, it would be disappointing, but, you know, it would it'd be you know, coming from a senior, I mean, it would be very disappointing. And then, but, you know, going out last game, just giving it all I have, that's all I can do.
How important is it to this senior class, I guess, to really kind of have shown that you were part of turning things around?
I mean, it's very huge. I mean, we all, just all the work we put in, and we really want to turn this program around. And we want to bring it back to what it was, going to bowl games every year, winning conference championships, and, you know, and I think this is the year we're going to turn it all around.
How much do you rely on your own knowledge, having grown up and seen those teams, Sonny Lubick, Cadnall? Most of these guys aren't familiar with
Yeah.
those teams or what they did other than hearing people talk about it. You saw those teams. How much you point that out periodically to people when you see things going on?
I mean, we point out a lot. I mean, this was a huge winning program, and, you know, it kind of skidded off the tracks a little bit, and, you know, a lot of guys don't saw what, you know, I saw growing up. So I mean, that's just more motivation for me, and I got to, you know, telling kids, you know, that, you know, this was a winning program, and that we can do this, and that it would mean so much for the community and for the players, the seniors, the staff, and for everyone here at the university, you know, to finally get back to what CSU football is all about.
Has it been tough for the senior class? You guys came in on the heels of a bowl game, a bowl win over
Yep.
Fresno State, and then it's been some pretty rough
Yeah,
stretch since.
very. I mean, I came in 08, and they just got done with the New Mexico Bowl and won. So, I mean, we were all riding pretty high and had all high expectations, and then, you know, just kind of did a 180 on us, and, you know, it was hard, but I mean, we've all worked hard to get to this point and finally get the opportunity to go back to a bowl game.
I asked you guys could technically be bowl eligible right now had you not added that 13 game and played Alabama. And so was it worth it to go down and experience what you did in Alabama? And do you think that this program gained from that game?
Oh, it was definitely worth it. I mean, just to get that exposure and just play that caliber of team, you know. And since I've been here, I mean, the TCU was ranked 3rd or 4th when we played them. So, I mean, just to play the #1 team and just go down that atmosphere and just experience that whole thing was definitely worth it. And it was, you know, worth it for the university because, I mean, we got that exposure and we played Alabama tough, and I think it was worth it for us.
Did you see gains just from what you were able to do in games after that, from confidence that you may have gained from that game? Is this season different because you played that game?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we saw, I mean, going into the game, I mean, we didn't really know what to expect. And then after the game, you know, knowing that we can hang with the best, and, you know, we can compete with them. So, I mean, that just raised our confidence level so much to another level.
Tanner, just special teams were really, really good earlier this year, and they've kind of fallen off a little bit the last few weeks. What do you guys have to do to get them back to where they need to be?
We just need to get back to, you know, our confidence and, you know, that swagger we had at the beginning of the year, and we'll get there. I mean, we kind of had a little fallout, you know, but gotten a little rut, but, you know, we're coming out of it, and, you know, we should really come back this game and just let it all out and leave it all out on the field.
I'm curious, why did you become the offensive line's whipping boy this year?
That was actually my decision.
You brought it upon yourself?
Yeah.
That'd be a good story.
You know, all those guys are really good friends of mine, and, you know, it just kind of eases the nerves and all the tension, you know, when we're out there and during practice and all that. So just having talk smack to me and I talk smack to them, you know, it's all fun and games, and it's kind of funny when we're in games and they start talking smack, and, you know, the opposing team doesn't know what to expect. They start laughing. So, I mean, it just kind of eases my nerves a little bit, you know, get me not thinking about, you know, how big the play is or the snap. And so something I, you know, encouraged.
What's the bigger motivator for you in this game? Is it, you know, stopping that 7-game skid against the Falcons, or is it to go to a bowl game and play on a national stage and advance the program?
Both. I mean, it's just, you know, getting that Ram Falcon trophy back and going to a bowl game. I mean, it's huge for us, and all the work that we put in, you know, it would just be so rewarding to the senior class, and, you know, huge momentum for you know, the younger classmen going into the next season, kind of rolling off that. And I mean, every game's big, but this is probably one of the biggest games I've probably been a part of right now.
Can you talk about how big a role Weston Richburg has played? He's the one senior that's played every game in his career. How big a role has he played in advancing this program?
Oh, huge. He really took the leadership role this season, and, you know, he's a really good guy, and a lot of guys look up to him, so he took that leadership role on pretty well, and he's got a lot of experience. He knows what it's like to win, and he's really motivated. So, I mean, it's good to have a guy like that on the team that everyone can rally around and look on like something's going wrong. He'll pick us all back up, and it's just good to have a type of leader like that on the team.
It's weird to have that in a center, not a quarterback,
Yeah.
a center. What is it about him personality-wise that people do rally around him?
He's very vocal. You know, if someone's slacking off, he'll let them know. If someone's doing a good job, he'll let them know. And I think O-lineman just got the mentality, you know, in the trenches. So, you know, play tough, and a guy like that, you know, you look up to, and who has gone through, you know, what he's gone through. You know, we all came in and won the bowl game, and now we were skidded, but now we're going to another bowl game. So, I mean, it's just he took on that leadership role and wanted to really take it upon himself to turn this program around.
Anything else?
The culture will be the team's effort on Saturday.
Yeah, you can say that because we feel as though we got to come out there and play hard because there's a lot on the line out there this week, and effort we just need to worry about our game because effort should just come with the intensity of the game and what's all on the line. So we think the effort wouldn't lack at all. We wouldn't lack effort at all this week.
What do you think the biggest problems are Colorado State's had against Air Force? Is it just that option attack, or is there something else going on in people's heads that have caused it to be a tough game?
Last year, it could have been a combination of both, but I really don't like. For me, I don't know what it was. They just, we just couldn't stop them. We had a good scheme, but we couldn't execute. Probably people couldn't get off of blocks and stuff like that, but it could be something mental. But we try to leave that in the past, and we just know we got to come out here and prepare the best way we can for this week at practice because we know practice is going to dictate the way we play on Saturday.
You guys pride yourselves a lot in preparation and just being ready for what you see. Is this a hard offense to get ready for just because you don't really have a triple option scout team, guys chop blocking and all those things coming at you?
No, I mean, it's hard to prepare for them. We try our best to simulate the look in practice by having specific plays that they cut on and stuff like that. But we saw New Mexico, and they was a pretty good option team. So we feel as though we somewhat prepared for Air Force, but we know we thought we was prepared last year too, and it didn't go our way at all last year. So we're going to have to put a little bit more effort in practice to be better and play fast and just know our assignment so we could come out Saturday and have a better showing.
How much harder will it be to face this offense if you're down a couple of key defensive starters?
Yeah, it'll be hard because Coach got a lot of, I do, the team, we got a lot of faith in the guys that we have out there, and knowing that they're going to be hurt, we got get the newer guys in there so we could gain faith and trust in them all. And with that, there's going to be reps and practice and stuff like that because, practice look like ones and twos get most of the reps. So, and the threes or something like that, they probably won't get as many reps because we ain't anticipating a whole lot of people getting hurt. But now that we know that we got some people that's bumped up and bruised up, we're going to get a lot more people in the rotation so that we can have faith and a lot of trust in them in the game plan.
Coach talked about you sort of having to fill your role and Corey's both at the same time this week. Can you do that?
He said, fill my role and Corey's role.
He said double duty.
I don't mind just coming out there and just perform to the best of my abilities because that's just what's expected of me every week. And I know there's a lot on the line. It's my senior year, and I want to come out there and just play and showcase my talent, showcase that my passion for the game and how much it means to me that we get this final win and be able to go to a bowl, be bowl eligible, and just to get the Rand Falcon trophy back is just an honor in itself because it's been gone for 8 years.
Besides, certainly everybody always has been a big emphasis on playing for a team and all, but there's some of you guys I know that hope to play at the next level. What does this game mean to you said, it's your last chance to really showcase yourself.
It's just opportunity just to come out there and just, you said, showcase ourselves and just do our job, because the scouts, they know, like, if I supposed to tackle the dive and I miss that, they know, like, I'm not doing my job. I'm not playing for the team. I'm playing for myself and selfish, and I don't want to be seen as that. So I just come out there and just do everything I can do while doing the job of the team and doing my part of the scheme. I don't want to come out there and try to like overcompensate and end up messing up my job and allow big runs and stuff like that. But I feel as though that we should, that this game out here is a good game for like tackle for losses personally, because they do a lot of options and stuff like that. So if I could come out there and get a lot of tackle for losses, that'll help me like my goals, personal goals.
Do the seniors look at this as your last chance to give back to the program, i.e. get them to a bowl game, feel like you've helped this program turn the table?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of us, not a lot of us, but it's probably like 14, 15 us. We be talking that we want to get the program back, going back to bowl games every year and having winning seasons every year. And we know that this is our last chance to do that, and we want to be a part of getting a program changed, like along with Coach Mack and Jack Graham. Like the Bowl New Era, it started last year, but we want to continue that and show that we are progressing, and that it's actually happening, and we can go to a bowl game, and we are getting better every year.
How much, certainly, if you guys, even if you were to lose this game, you're 2 wins better than last year and all, is that something you could really hang your hat on, or would it just be such a letdown that you can't really say, would be sort of a hollow victory almost?
I don't think you probably can say that because we are better than we was last year, but I wouldn't like take that and run with it, because we had like a lot more games that we was in and we didn't like finish defensively or offensively. We allowed like a couple teams to come back on us in the second half when we had leads. So I just like this one game, I wouldn't just say just because we had 2 more wins that we was a lot better this year, because like we said, we was in a lot of our games that we lost, and we feel as though if we ain't make our mistakes, that we could have already been bowl eligible.
You're just too close to that one goal that you guys had at the beginning of the year. Nothing short of that will feel good.
No, I would agree with that, because it is our last year, and going to a bowl is like big in college football, and I haven't been a one. Nobody on this team has ever been a one, and we all want to get that feeling and see what it's like. And once we get it, we don't want to ever let it go.
Is this the type of game that's really exciting for you so much, right? I mean, obviously you wanted to get to 7 wins before this point, but is it exciting, or do you see guys being more nervous?
I think it's exciting, but people gonna have them nerves that we gotta win and we can't afford to mess up, so they're gonna like probably put a little bit more pressure on themselves, and it's gonna be just up to the coaches and us to like let them know to relax and just play and do your job, and don't tense up, because when you tense up, that's when you do tend to mess up and not do your job. So it's just gonna be important that we like try to relax and try to die down some of the nerves and excitement, and just come out here and play. Just play the last game of the season and play it like it's the last game of the season.
It's kind of like high school again. It's like a playoff game.
Yeah, that's.
You want to play again beyond this, you got to win this one.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying. It's like go win or go home, and KP was talking about that's our Super Bowl right here. Like we win, we get to go on and play some more, but we lose. It's gonna be sad, and it's gonna be home. And don't nobody want that right now. Everybody want to get the bowl excitement and see what that's like, because we never had it.
Jim says he wakes up cold sweats, nightmares, thinking of the Air Force game last year. Same for you?
No, I let it go probably like a week or 2 after the game. It was hard. It was hard though, like just to come out there and just get all ranked on like that. I like when teams run on us, like they just overpower us. They like more physical, and you could say they're like pretty much more man than us. And I don't like that feeling at all, because I feel as though I'm tougher than the person next to me. But if all 11 people on the team don't feel like that, and they just running the ball down our throats, it's obvious that the way I feel isn't translating to the play on the field. So I just never want to have that feeling again.
You keep moving the chains. You think guys get down on themselves, and then kind of snowballs, and that's kind of the effort that Coach McElwain sees on film. It's just because it's like you can't stop them. Guys kind of throw up their hands, not literally, but you see some of that?
Yeah, it's just like when this game is already not going our way, and then like they just keep moving the chains, like you said, people will probably start getting down on us as like wondering what we gotta do and just feel as though it's nothing we can do. But I say like if it's like a beginning of a game, we still in the game, people like everybody try to respond on a high note and just try to talk to each other on the sideline, get it together. But even like New Mexico, I could say it was like the last year, but like this year we was all still in it. Like the New Mexico game, they kept moving the chains, scoring touchdowns, but we always talking, trying to figure out what was going on, what we needed to do to go out there and get the next stop. And that's the good way that the team changed and grew from last year, because last year we hung our heads down a lot if we couldn't stop the team and get them off the field. But now I can say that we changed, and now we motivate each other and try to do the next thing and do what's the next and play the next play so we can get the team off the field.
Can you learn from the mistakes you made against New Mexico and then apply last week's effort and put that towards what you're going to do this week against Air Force?
Yes, we going to do that in practice, because the New Mexico, we had a good scheme there, and like once we finally, like at the beginning we executed it, then they started getting some first downs and stuff, and we couldn't like slow them down none, but we got back together and figured out what we needed to do, and we started executing again towards the end of the game. And we know like going to take the beginning effort and the end of effort and the scheme from that New Mexico game along with the effort last week, so we could play a perfect game. And we know that our offense, they're going to get it together. They're going to be there. We ain't got nothing to worry about that. We know that last week, that was a fluke right there. That ain't going to happen no more this year. Well, we only got a couple games left, but it ain't going to happen no more. We know the offense is going to come prepared, ready to play, and they're going to score a lot of points.
You've got less players here this week because a lot of guys went home for the holiday. Is there a more unified group here this week approaching this last game because there's so few of you?
Yeah, and like we all have bonds together. Like we try to get talk to the walk-ons and develop relationships with them, but they're not as strong, and our bond isn't as strong as it is with the people who are here right now, because we travel with them every week. We run with them in the hotel rooms and stuff like that. So it's probably a more stronger bond this week than it was usually, because we like really don't have that much time to hang out with the younger guys.
Is this rivalry as big for you guys to say Wyoming and CU, because you sort of get the feeling that it's not, and yet when you look at the 1-7 in a row, maybe you should treat it that way. That this is just as big as those rivalries.
Yes, I would say so. Coach Kent was talking to us about it. Some probably winter conditioning. He's talking about this game and the Wyoming game. I don't even think he mentioned the CU game like that, but he was saying like these are going to be our biggest games, the Wyoming and the CU game. I mean, not the CU, the Air Force game. And just saying that that should be one of our strongest and best rivalries that we have, because there's a lot on the line. We get to win a trophy every year. Well, we got the opportunity to win a trophy every year. It just is a lot to play for out there. And they are also in Colorado as well. So we feel as though we need to not dominate the Colorado teams, but we want to be able to compete with the Colorado teams and like beat all of them to show that we are the best in the state.
Is that as much motivation as anything, is the fact that you've never beaten Air Force in your career? Same as Wyoming. That was a big motivating factor for you in that game. Is that just as big as everything else, the bowl game, getting that one,
Yeah, that's real big for us right now, because we never beat. They never beat them since anybody on this team was here. So everybody want to get the feeling of finally beating Air Force and getting a trophy back home. I know getting the Wyoming, the boot back home, it felt real good. I know everybody enjoyed that feeling, and we would love to get it back this week from bringing back the Rand Falcon trophy.
More than just what it would mean for the program to get to the bowl game, as a senior, what it would mean to extend your career since that would be the last game as well.
It mean a lot, because I have a great bond with a lot of guys on the team, man. Like they say, it's nothing like the bonds and relationship you have in college with your teammates. And I don't know what it's like when that's over, but I don't want to experience that like right now or next week. I want it to carry over for as long as possible. So I think just getting to that bowl game gonna help that bond just keep increasing and keep growing, and just keep it from ending.
Have you ever seen the trophy from the 2008 New Mexico Bowl that the Rams won?
You say, have I ever seen it?
Yeah, have you ever seen
I think I saw it in a picture. It's probably upstairs somewhere too, but I ain't look around upstairs. Yeah, I ain't
Go
looking.
out, look at it and check it out, you know, visualize maybe winning another one of those.
Yeah, that's I'm recommend that to a lot of people on the team. Hopefully, get a fire going that we need to get back to the bowl game. Not only get back to it, but actually win. But first, we got to take care of the business this week, though.